We've all heard the quote that knowledge is power, and that's wrong. You can know a whole lot and still have nothing to show for it. You can read books, you can listen to podcasts, you can go out in the world and preach what you heard, and still your life doesn't change because knowledge by itself doesn't do anything. It doesn't make decisions for you. It doesn't keep your mind steady when things don't go right. It doesn't stop you from reacting the same way you always have. It just sits there, stored up, showed off, talked about, yet never lived. And that's as far as most people get. They stay learning, they stay hoarding knowledge, they stay thinking that having knowledge is the same as having the thing. And it's not. This is 2 lessons in 1. So here are 2 lessons in 1 for knowing. While training to run 200 miles, I was running 20 to 26 miles to jiu-jitsu, participating in like 4 rounds for open mat, and then taking the class, catching a ride home. While doing all of that, I overworked my system, basically lowered my immunity, caught COVID, and knowing that that is a possibility. I knew people do that. I knew I had the possibility to do that, but I went and did it anyway. So having done that and getting over COVID, coming out of COVID, I had a sinus infection, a chronic sinus infection for a long time. And eventually I noticed when I consumed large amounts of sugar, it would inflame it and it was prolonging it. And I noticed it was affecting my health. My eyes were getting very sunken in. I was still at my normal healthy weight, but I was just starting to just like look really bad. But I would still keep consuming at times large amounts of sugar and inflaming it and prolonging it. But knowing how to prevent it, right? Knowing how to cure it. And what did it for me is, though I was feeling strong and feeling energetic, I was looking at myself and seeing that something bad could happen soon. And so I cut back way further on sugar. And that's what I'm talking about. How most of us operate within that sort of framework somewhere, off in many places. It wasn't until I stopped going back and forth between not having any sugar and indulging in sugar that it cleared up. Same body, different action, different results, right? And that is when it stopped being something I knew and became something I lived. And that's what changed the outcome. You can know how to stay calm and still lose control when triggered. Something says something you don't like, and here we go. Your voice changes, your posture changes, and you're already off. All that knowledge about staying calm, gone in an instant. You know how to focus, but you're still on your phone every few minutes. You tell yourself you're going to stay on track, and inevitably you find yourself distracted. Again and again. You know what truly matters, and then you find yourself spending the majority of your day engaging in things that don't. Scrolling and talking about things that don't move your life or your people forward. And avoiding what you already know you need to handle. If it doesn't translate into your life, it's not real. Power comes from what translates into real life, into your day, into your decisions and how you respond when real things happen. When unexpected things happen, how do you respond? You get a flat tire, maybe plans don't pan out, something doesn't go your way. Do you stay clear-headed or do you start spinning? When someone challenges you, what comes up? Do you listen or do you react? Do you stay present or do you find yourself waiting to respond, trying to prove something? How are you when you're all alone? No pressure, no audience. Do you stay in what matters or do you find yourself distracted? That is what you actually have. Not what you say, not what you read, but what you do. You don't build anything real simply by thinking about it or talking about it. You build by doing something with it. Small, repeated, consistent steps day after day. You don't become steady by understanding steadiness. You become steady by catching yourself when you're not and making corrections. Right there in the moment, you find yourself about to react, you notice it, and you stop it. That's the practice. You find yourself drifting. You catch yourself and you bring yourself back, and that's the practice. You know you need to handle something you've been putting off, and you handle it. That's the practice. And that is where knowledge starts to change. It stops being a theory or something you talk about and starts being something you live. And most of it is quiet. It's small decisions, small corrections, moments when you could go one way and you chose to go another. And that's where it builds up. Not in these big moments and not in places where you're going to be seen. It's in how you sit, how you breathe, how you hold yourself when nothing is happening. When you're sitting still and your mind is going everywhere and you can notice it and bring it back. Now that's real. And that's where knowledge translates over, and not just into movement, but into how you live, into how you think, how you handle time, how you deal with people, and how you deal with yourself. If the extent of your knowledge doesn't reach into those moments, then it is surface level knowledge. It's something you visit, but it's not something you are. You don't need more knowledge. You already have enough knowledge to change something right now. You know where you're avoiding something. You know where you're reacting instead of choosing. You know where your distractions are. The question is, do you act? That is the split. That's where everything changes. Not when you learn something new, but when you use what you already know. You take one thing you already have, you apply it to your life in real situations, in real time, now. And it won't be perfect. You'll miss an opportunity for change. You'll forget. You'll fall back into your old patterns. Now you'll catch it and you'll bring it back over and over. And that's how it becomes real. That's where it stops being an idea and starts being a part of your life. And once it's in there, you don't have to think about it as much. It shows up on its own. It's in how you respond and how you carry yourself and move throughout the day. And that's power. It's quiet. It's consistent. It's there when things are easy, and it's there when things are not. Not knowledge, but what you live.